YouTube. My name is Maria and welcome to my channel MH Books. And it's raining outside. And I just filmed an intro to a vlog, and then I said I was going to go out and do some nice footage of whatever you can get amongst the 5 kilometers, you know. And I washed a couple of dishes and now it's raining. It actually looks really dark. It is making me a liar pants on fire. So I'm going to film the tag I was going to film tomorrow. So you're going to see with same clothes, same pimple. And I was tagged in this, it's the spoiler tag. And I was tagged in this by beating around the books. And I'm just going to get on with these questions. I rambled on too much in the videos today. So let's just crack on. So what do you consider, so question number 1, this is not prepared very well at all actually, because I'm supposed to be filming it tomorrow and I would have prepped a little bit tomorrow, but at least reading the questions first. What do you consider a spoiler? Spoilers. A spoiler is different to being spoiled. So a spoiler is when somebody tells you an important part of the plot of a narrative piece of fiction, whether it's books, magazine stories, film or TV, and it is an important piece of information that the authors deliberately withheld from you until a certain point, and you're to make a huge surprise happen. So in Gone Girl, it would be the ending. In the Star Wars trilogy, it's in the second film with Luke, I am your father. If you tell somebody who that father was before it happens. Actually, even me saying that, if you haven't watched those movies, I have spoiled those movies for you because that's major. Unless you actually have that feeling like, holy shit, you know? Where did that come from? That's something that gives you that piece of information is a spoiler. It is possible to be spoiled for something without there being a spoiler though. You can spoil it yourself. You can overhype something. So in my case, I think it's Sarah Perry, if I have her name wrong, it's The Serpents, was loved by everybody. And I went into that expecting to love it. And I ended up hating it. Now, I probably just would have went, it's all right, if it wasn't for the fact that I had it hyped up in my own mind so high. So I actually spoiled that book myself by overhyping. So you can overhype something, and that's the thing that's happened to all of us. Something's been overhyped so much that we expect more from it than we can actually ever get from it. But that's not a spoiler. Okay, so there's spoiled and there's a spoiler. Does the genre you're reading impact what you consider to be a spoiler? Absolutely. Further to be a spoiler, there needs, first of all, it needs to be narrative. I don't know anything like, I know some pieces of literary fiction can definitely be spoiled, but only in the part of the narrative plot. Something that happens to a character, or the reason why the author put these 2 characters together suddenly interlinks, and you suddenly understand, you know, the significance of everything by reading on. So yes, it does depend on your genre. It requires more narrative. I'm not going to say genre fiction because you can spoil literary fiction once it has a story or things happening in it that you need, you know. You don't want to know until the author is ready to tell you. Okay, there's something about this author being ready to tell you a story, and when they want you to know. They've spent a lot of time putting this together so that you get the experience of when you're supposed to know. But definitely with genre, if you have a mystery, if you solve a mystery, so you're talking about crime and detective novels, but anything, a horror novel, anything that has an essential mystery to it, if you tell anybody the answer to that. That, you know, the problem, they're starting off with the beginning of the book, what it is about. You have spoiled that for them. So yeah, definitely things like mystery and are more, so obviously crime genre fiction is more susceptible to spoilers. All the best bits are in the trailer. Yep. Sometimes the synopsis can be too detailed. Yep. Do you research books prior to reading them, or do you go in blind? When I review books, when I talk about my TBRs and things, I often quote Goodreads friends' reviews, but I deliberately only ever quote things about how they felt about a book, the adjectives they used to describe the book, like it was exciting and thrilling, or lyrical and poetic, how it made them feel, like, you know, it was a horror novel, I was shaking all night, whatever they said, how the book impacted them. Because I haven't actually read, which is normally the first bit people's reviews, the actual bit where they say what the story is about. Because I skip that. If I want to read it, I'll read it from the back. But even the backs of books, which have publishers who should know better, can sometimes spoil something that I don't think the author meant us to know yet. And I think that's where my spoiler bit is. There's parts that I'm sure the author never meant us to know, that they wanted to surprise us with that. Sometimes the introduction or translator's notes can spoil the ending. Yep, can. And especially for classics, absolutely, 100%. Don't ever read an intro to a classic. They assume you've already read it, which is read the intro. I don't know why they don't put them as afterwards, but read the intro last. Has this ever happened to you? Yes. Answer the question as I went. Name a time somebody spoiled a novel for you. Nobody has spoiled a novel for me that I can think of. Not on purpose. So if something's not done on purpose, I don't tend to remember. But I do, as I said, I have a tendency to not watch review videos. That's something I do. No watch review videos on YouTube until I've read the book, if it's a book I think I'm likely to read, unless I'm really, and they're really saying it's definitely spoiler free, because too many of them give the synopsis of the plot, and I don't want the synopsis of the plot. I just want to know how they reacted, how they felt about it. Saying that, I'm just realizing I'm after filming a video where I do say some things about some characters. It's impossible not to say anything, but yeah. Nobody, as far as I know, has spoiled it for me. That's my honest answer to that. Have you ever spoiled a novel for somebody else? Not on purpose. I try not to. It's hard. I do have to agree, it is hard because you don't know for sure what would be surprising to them. And I think it's that bit, like, you know, what they would just get the kick out of kind of finding out, or, you know, putting together. Definitely, you know, there's obvious spoilers. You don't say who the murderer was. I used to slip up a little bit and start back when I was in my early 20s, talking about movies, and then just kind of go, you haven't seen that, have you? Oh, sugar, I've just completely spoiled it, haven't I? Now somebody be going, and Pam knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, she basically, we went to see the Shawshank Redemption. She rented it in her apartment in Sydney, and she said, "Don't you tell me the ending of this." I went, "I haven't seen it, but you read the book. Don't tell me the ending of the Shawshank Redemption." And I went, okay. So yeah, I learned my lesson. So yeah, that's my answer, my very honest answer to that. Okay, if spoilers ruin novels, are there authors or genres you can't read? That's not true for me. I will reread things that I know the ending of. I actually saw Gone Girl in the cinema, and then I read the book. I knew what the surprise ending was, but needed more information on how they got there. And what's it? I think The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle is another one I would like to reread to see. I think the second reread would be the end of it. I don't think I'd be interested after that. But I wanted to see, sometimes you want to see how they got to that ending, because you kind of go, oh, how did I miss all these indications? So to a certain extent, to a certain extent, after a while, I won't reread. I won't reread Gone Girl again. That's it. You know what I mean? I satisfied myself. But if a book is well written and well loved, you will reread and reread again. Yeah. So, sort of, is my answer. When reviewing, are you spoiler free? I try to be. Does this limit your ability to discuss? Yes, if it's a rant. And I remember this from the spoiler tag when beating around the books from her discussion of it. Yeah. Rant videos. I want to rant about something. When I rant about a book I don't like, I will give away the ending because I don't think it's worthwhile reading. And yeah, I don't know that that's fair because other people are going to enjoy it, but it's very easy to say why you like something without, not easy, but it's easier without spoiling. But when something is wrong with a book and you kind of go, I don't believe this is not possible, it's really, because XYZ, and you need to say XYZ, but so that means you need to tell the plot of XYZ and why they're all wrong. So it's almost impossible with a ranty video to not spoil. I do try to do things like hold up books when I spoil, and I will try and concentrate and be slightly better. I think I'm at the end of my questions. You're supposed to tag 5 people, is it? Yeah, 5 people. I think most people have done this. I'm not great at tagging, specifically because I take so long myself in actually filming and uploading. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. But if you would like to do this video, if you have completely contrary opinions or the same opinions, please tell me and consider yourself tagged as, obviously, and I will go over and watch it. Okay. Right, thank you for that, and I hope whatever you're reading, you're enjoying it. Bye. How are you, BookTube? This is Maria, or future Maria, who just realized she forgot to name the creator of the tag. So this tag was originally created by Nell and Scott at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. So remember. And I'll link obviously that below as well. Yeah.